Hey everybody, welcome back for another deep dive.
Yeah.
So today we're looking at a challenge, and this one is all about creative output and discipline and rapping.
Oh, wow.
It's pretty cool. So it's basically rapping every single day for like a month.
Every single day?
Yeah. Yeah. So we've got a YouTube video called, and you can check it out too if you want. It's called hashtag 28 Days Soft 16s Challenge.
Okay.
And it's from the Scessions channel. And we've also got like some notes on the rules of the challenge.
Gotcha.
So this is interesting stuff. Now, we're assuming most of you guys know a bit about the rap world, but just in case, just so we're all on the same page, when we say 16 bars,
Yeah.
that basically means like a verse in a rap song.
Right.
All right.
Yeah. So like if you think about the structure of a song, it's
Okay.
like one of the fundamental building blocks of the song.
Right.
And it's interesting because this challenge isn't just about, rhyming or freestyling. It's about building a substantial body of work.
Right.
And I think that's something that's often overlooked, especially by up-and-coming artists.
Mm-hmm.
The more material you have, the more you have to perform, the more you have to attract fans with. It's a strategic advantage.
Right. And it's a way to like show your growth over time.
Absolutely.
So to give you a feel for this rapper's style,
Yeah.
I want to share a line from the video.
Okay. Give me.
All right. He says, I got plenty weight up, sitting chillin', waiting for the kill, like I'm a gator. Still a vision, making something iller than the greatest M, already fill up with them silly instigators.
I like that.
Right.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
That imagery, right? Like the gator waiting to strike.
It's evocative.
Yeah. And those internal rhyme schemes, like wait up.
Yeah, he's clearly got skills. And you can see that's exactly what I mean by building a body of work.
Right.
Imagine honing that skill day after day, like every day.
Right.
That's where the challenge rules really come in. So we've got daily posting deadlines, specific hashtags to use. There's an emphasis on making sure you're posting these videos with audio, right? So people can hear what you're doing.
Yeah. It's interesting how structured it is, right? You think like a creative challenge would be more...
Free-flowing.
Yeah. Just like do whatever. But this is very much like...
It's a framework.
Yeah.
But I think that's actually a really good thing, especially for someone who is trying to develop a habit, right?
Right. And actually, like I was just going to say, it's like setting yourself up for success. Because like, okay, you might not feel super inspired every day.
You're not going to. Every day's not going to be a hit. But you've got this deadline.
Yeah.
And it pushes you.
Exactly.
And then the hashtags.
Right.
Those are super clever because it creates this community around the challenge.
Yes.
So you're not just doing it in isolation.
You can see what everyone else is doing.
You can get feedback. You can support each other. You build momentum together.
It's like that saying, creativity loves a deadline.
Taken to the extreme.
Yes. And there's also this element of don't worry about perfection woven throughout the material, which I think is brilliant.
I love that.
Right.
Because perfection can be so paralyzing.
Totally. Totally.
This challenge is all about flipping that on its head.
Yeah.
It's like, just show up.
Yes. Put in the reps.
Embrace the messy process,
It's about the process, not the product in this case.
What can you learn from each verse that you create? How does your style evolve when you take the pressure off?
It's like building that creative muscle, not about churning out these masterpieces every time.
Exactly.
You know what I find really fascinating? The source material actually suggests post captions.
Oh, wow.
For like each stage of the challenge.
Interesting.
And they're not just about, hyping yourself up.
Yeah.
They actually reflect like a really smart strategy.
Well, that's cool. So like, what do they say?
Well, like the kickoff captions are all about grabbing attention and like inviting other people to join in.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense. Get the community going.
Right. And then as the challenge progresses, it shifts to being about consistency.
Right.
And like pushing through those moments of doubt.
Because there will be those moments.
Totally. And then towards the end, it's all about celebrating what you've accomplished.
Right.
And using that momentum to keep going.
To keep going even after the 28 days is the key.
Right. Exactly. It's like they've built in this whole support system through these captions.
I like that.
It's not just a challenge. It's almost like
a mini course.
Yes.
On how to build a creative habit.
Totally.
It makes you think about the difference between talent and output.
Right. Right.
Like, you could be the most naturally gifted rapper in the world, but if you never actually,
put anything out,
put in the work,
yeah,
if you never share it, no one will ever hear you.
Exactly. And this challenge forces you to bridge that gap.
It does.
And it's not just about blindly grinding it out, Remember, he's also tracking his progress,
Right.
seeing which verses get the most engagement,
Oh, that's smart.
which collaborations take off.
That's data.
Yeah.
That's what I was talking about earlier, right?
Yeah.
That data-driven approach.
Yeah.
It's like he's running an experiment
On himself?
on his own creative process. What works? What resonates? What can he learn from each post?
And there's this line in the video that really stuck with me. He says, "Ain't nobody leading. Ain't nobody telling what they need to get on. Ain't nobody Hewitt had to learn it, get it, and repeat it, get gone."
That's powerful.
Yeah.
And you see that hustle in so many successful creators, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're not waiting for a record deal or a lucky break.
It's taking ownership.
They're putting in the work. They're building their audience. They're refining their craft along the way.
And that learn it, get it, repeat it part, it's like a mantra
But
for anyone trying to master something new.
whether it's rapping, coding, writing that screenplay you've been putting off,
Yeah.
it's the essence of deliberate practice, right?
Hmm.
You identify your weaknesses, you work on them, you keep iterating until you level up.
And the beauty of this challenge is that it builds that iterative process right into the structure.
Exactly.
It makes me wonder, could we apply this to other areas of life?
Oh, absolutely.
Like, imagine a 28 days of fitness challenge.
Yes.
Or 28 days of learning a new language.
The principles are the same.
Right. Set a goal, break it down into daily actions.
You commit to the process.
And it doesn't matter if you're not a gym rat or a language whiz.
It's the consistency that makes the difference.
And, it's not just about the end result.
Yeah.
It's about what you learn about yourself along the way.
Mm-hmm. Like, can you stick to a plan?
Right.
Can you push through those days when you just don't feel like it?
Exactly.
Those are valuable lessons, regardless of what you're trying to achieve.
So true.
This whole challenge is like a microcosm of that journey, right?
Yeah.
You face those same internal hurdles,
Mm-hmm.
but you're doing it in this structured environment where you're constantly supported and encouraged.
This whole deep dive has really gotten me fired up
Me too.
about the power of consistent effort.
It's amazing.
I think a lot of us underestimate what we can accomplish
Totally.
when we actually commit to something day after day.
I think that's the biggest takeaway here.
Yeah.
It's not about some magic formula or overnight success.
Show up, do the work.
Trust the process.
Now, before we wrap up,
Yeah.
there are a couple more points in the source material
Okay.
that I think are worth highlighting. One thing that really stood out to me was this whole idea of being real.
Yeah. Like not trying to be perfect all the time.
Right. Because that can be such a barrier for people.
Totally. You
Yeah.
get so caught up in making everything polished
Mm-hmm.
and perfect, and then you end up never actually putting anything out there.
Exactly. This challenge is like giving yourself permission to be rough around the edges,
Totally. Just experiment and see what happens.
And the source material also talks about the importance of encouraging others. Like, even if someone is just starting out or they feel intimidated,
Yeah.
just remind them that everyone starts somewhere.
Right. It's about the journey, not the destination.
Totally. That community aspect is so crucial
It really is.
because you need that support system to keep you going
Yeah.
when you hit those rough patches.
Exactly. And you need to be that support system for other people, too.
Totally. It's like it creates this positive feedback loop.
Right.
You encourage someone, they encourage someone else,
And pretty soon, it's like this whole movement of people.
pushing each other to grow.
So let's bring this all back to you, the listener.
What if you applied this 28 days concept
Yeah.
to something you've always wanted to do?
Right.
Maybe it's writing that novel,
Learning an instrument.
starting a business,
Whatever it is, imagine committing to it
every day,
for just 28 days, putting in the work,
embracing the imperfections.
and just seeing what happens.
Yeah. Think about the momentum you could build,
The skills you could develop,
the confidence you could gain. It's about proving to yourself.
that you're capable of more than you think.
And who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe it'll spark something.
that lasts far beyond those 28 days.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of these deep dives. They plant these seeds of possibility.
It make you think differently.
They make you question your assumptions.
and realize that maybe those goals that you thought were impossible.
Are actually closer than you think.
So what are you waiting for
What's that one thing?
that you've been putting off?
So maybe it's time to give it a shot.
Yeah. And
You don't
remember,
have to do it alone.
share your goals with friends.
Find a community online
Let's support each other on this journey.
of creative exploration.
Because sometimes all it takes is a little push
A little structure
and a whole lot of heart.
to unlock your full potential.
We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah. What resonated with you in this deep dive?
What are you inspired to create?
What are you inspired to achieve?
Share your thoughts,
Your challenges.
your triumphs.
Let's keep the conversation going.